Hey y'all, it's me, Kevvie! So last month, Shelly Swearingen read one of my favorite books, Hunger by Roxane Gay. Unfortunately, it didn't really work for her the way it worked for me. After she read it, her and I had a wonderful conversation, and I wanted to make a video sharing my thoughts from that conversation. You can see Shelly's thoughts on hunger in her own video, which I'll have linked up in the cards and in the description. Now this isn't a straight up response, like I'm not directly critiquing her opinion of the book. It's more that our conversation reminded me of these reasons why this book matters to me. One of Shelly's big gripes with the book was how hard it was to listen to Roxane Gay be so hard on her body, and how much she struggles, and how counter to the general body positive narrative, she doesn't love her body or size or shape. Shelly really wanted to reach through the book and give Roxane a big ol' hug to let her know that her and her body are okay. And I get that and sympathize with that feeling. But I think the fact that she doesn't like her body is part of why this book is so important to me. I think it's important that over the course of Hunger, Roxane doesn't get more accepting about her weight. It pushes past the surface level nature of the body positive movement and says that fat people don't need to love themselves or be proud of their size in order to be treated with dignity and respect. This may come as a surprise, but there are a lot of fat people, myself included, who believe the body positivity movement has failed us. By trying too hard to accept all bodies, the movement got commandeered by thin people who, while yes, deserve to love their bodies too, aren't facing the same systemic discrimination that fat people face. So now there's the fat liberation movement, focusing specifically on advocating for the rights and needs of fat people. The fact is, most fat people don't love their bodies. With the amount of thin people who hate their size, it's hard for people 2, 3, or even 4 times heavier to love their vessel. But even when they're unhappy, when they're messy or disheveled or lazy, they are still entitled to humanity, which most of the time we do not receive. This book doesn't have a happy ending because most fat people don't get a happy ending. It sucks, but it's reality. And facing it in this book helps us to understand this reality and what aspects of it need to be changed. I began my body positive journey in 2016. I had struggled with my weight and appearance my entire life, and I decided one day that if I wanted to see more representation of people like me, I'd have to be the one doing it. So I went on stage wearing next to nothing, and it was horrifying, but people loved it. And the more I did that, the more confident and empowered I became. I really began to love my body. Then in 2019, I had to go to a doctor. I've had this issue for as long as I can remember, where I can be perfectly fine, then out of the blue I will have debilitating, severe back pain that makes me unable to move. I've been having this issue since way before I became this size, so it's not a weight-related issue. It's been a forever issue. So in 2019, when I went to go get it examined to hopefully get some answers, the doctor straight up refused to treat me. Wouldn't even run a single test. Wouldn't do a thing, he said, unless I first had invasive bariatric surgery. Honestly, he said that he would not help me with my back until I cut my stomach open. That is how the body positivity movement has failed us. No amount of loving my body or feeling confident in a swimsuit will help me when medical professionals refuse to treat me because of my size. We fat people don't need body positivity. It's a band-aid covering the surface while ignoring the deeper systemic issues. I love that Roxane Gay ends this book still hating her body, because this book isn't trying to sell us on the lie that if you learn to love yourself, everything will be okay. She's saying that her life is hard, and a lot of the difficulties she faces arise from how she is treated because she is fat. We don't need to love ourselves. We need to fight against the systemic discrimination that we face. We need fat liberation. And Roxane Gay's memoir Hunger was the first book that really opened my eyes to this. Now I've got to clarify again real quick, this is not a direct attack on Shelly. I love her, she's awesome. We had a wonderful conversation and we are good. I'm not making this video to attack her. I'm just contributing my thoughts and experiences to the conversation surrounding this book. When I first commented on her video, YouTube auto-deleted it. So if I wanted my feelings heard on YouTube, I have to express them in a video. Also, there are a few types of comments that I just won't allow on this video. And if I see them, I will delete them. Don't make any argument about health or wanting people to be healthy. Fat is not an indication of unhealthy. Look at Lizzo. She works out several hours a day. She's in incredible shape, and she's still fat. So don't equate being fat to being unhealthy. Do not suggest that we just need to lose weight if we don't want to be discriminated against. That's still perpetrating the idea that it's okay to discriminate against fat people. No size of fat person deserves to be discriminated against. Just losing weight would not fix the systemic issues. Also, please don't try to equate weight and image struggles of a thin person with those that I've described here. Yes, tons of thin people struggle with their appearance, and people may have told them they're too thin. But that is not the same as systematic oppression. I am not here to argue or debate any of these things. I've defended myself on these issues for years, and frankly, I'm just tired. I'm tired of having to repeat the same arguments over and over, and people refusing to listen. I'm not saying that's any of you. I'm just establishing some boundaries for myself because of what I've gone through before. So please understand and respect that. Oh, and also, if you decide to do more research about fat liberation, please disregard the top search result about feeders. Fat liberation is not a fetish thing, like it's suggested on that website. Have you read Hunger by Roxane Gay? What did you think of it? Have you heard of the fat liberation movement? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if it pleases and sparkles, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!